All right, everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining us for the 33rd annual The Hartford Virtual Ski Spectacular. This is an Alpine dryland strength training at the beginner level. My name is Julia Ray, and I'm the Programs Director with Move United, who is formerly Disabled Sports USA and Adaptive Sports USA. We had a name change and a merge since we met everybody in Breckenridge last year, so it's very exciting. We'd like to thank, of course, the Hartford for making all of this possible and their long-standing commitment and support to bring you this virtual opportunity. I'm going to start with a few housekeeping items and then we'll get going, get you sweating today. All attendees are going to be on mute to minimize distractions. Feel free to turn on your video using the camera button at the bottom of the screen. These sessions will be recorded, so if you don't want your video to be shown or if you haven't signed your media release yet, please feel free to hide your video. We'll give you the media release link in the chat box that you can get that done. Closed captioning for this session is enabled and attendees are welcome to adjust the font size as you need. Finally, make sure if you have questions along the way, pop them into the chat and we'll see if there's a few minutes at the end we can pose those to our great speakers today. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to the legendary Jason Moore, who helps us lead the race camp when we're together in Breckenridge, and he's got some friends with him today, and I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce everyone. Turn it over to you, Jason. Thank you.
Super. Thank you, Julia. And legendary. Wow. I don't know about legendary, but I appreciate that. Yes, welcome back. I don't know how many folks are here today that were also on the session yesterday, but a great first day for me, watching other sessions and really enjoyed the virtual ski spec. It is, I'm very appreciative to Move United for doing this virtual option again. And I think a lot of us left with some really great, kind of an upbeat attitude. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. My name again is Jason Moore. I work out of Montana, out of Bozeman, Montana. I get to work with primarily able-bodied and adaptive programs, trying to mix both together. And I find that to be a very productive and positive experience. Through those opportunities, I've met some great people. I've got a couple of my favorites here today. I've got Lizanne and Vasu, who I will introduce a little bit more thoroughly here in a minute. And they will talk to you and give you some really good inside information that will help folks in any able-bodied or adaptive scenario that they might be in, and then some good tips and tricks on sit skiing, wheelchair use, three tracking, crutch work, outriggers, things of that sort. There are so many videos out there with the Fit Kit, the Move United Fit Kit, that I won't spend a whole lot of time going through 45 minutes of just exercise, because I think there's a lot of information that needs to be out there as well in conjunction with all those videos, and those are accessible. You will have links to those videos, and they are awesome, they are thorough. Going through each one of those movements, you're going to be super fit. We're going to talk a little bit about injury prevention today, which is going to be key to being able to participate in the sport of choice throughout the whole season, especially sports that have a lot of force, like Alpine ski racing, and some potential for injury. We want to avoid all that injury options as possible. And the reason I brought in Lizanne and Vasu today is because they are movers. These guys do not let the grass grow. They embody the very essence of Move United. So we're gonna have some good information. I did get a chance to, over the last couple weeks, check in with some athletes that have some various physical challenges, and there's a lot of common themes. For sure, there are some specific things to adaptations and equipment being used, but we're gonna kind of touch on the very common themes that require, the best fitness outcome possible. Those areas, cardio is critical, obviously. We want to be very strong internally as well as externally. Strength is going to be key in any kind of Alpine, Nordic, snowboarding atmosphere. There's lots of forces. Our body needs to be strong, needs to be balanced. Flexibility is very huge. Injury prevention goes right along with flexibility. As much as we want to work out and get strong, equal, if not more time, needs to be spent on stretching, flexing, Pilates, yoga, all kinds of good mindful body exercises. Agility. Agility is huge, especially when we have some challenges with parts of our body that can't be as agile as we would like it to be. Creating other ways to be agile and really making core, upper body, lower body parts as agile as possible will lend itself to be a great ski experience, because skiing, ski racing is a very dynamic sport, as many of you know. Snowboarding, very dynamic. Constant movements, constant adjustments. It's really looked at as a series of linked recoveries when you're skiing. And as you gain skills, you don't even know you're actually making those minute recoveries as you go down the slopes. Some common themes that I'd like to mention. I talked to Paralympic champions. I've talked to youth that are emerging E-team members and coming into their opportunities to qualify for regional, national, international competition. And many of them said, you know, if you're doing cardio, if you're in a seated position, there's tons of things we can do. Ergometers. There are hand cycles. Getting out in your chair and going incline, climbing inclines is a great way as a sit skier. As a standing athlete, you know, any movement patterns is possible, whether it's running, biking, hiking. If there are standing impairments, cerebral palsy, there are a number of ways to get a good cardio workout as well, whether it's sitting, standing, and using various prosthetics. Using those phases that we talked about, you know, our end of season, we are going to have fun. We are going to go into recovery. We are going to do lots of what we like to do, lots of cardio. As you get into the early to midsummer, you're going to start building strength. Low weights, high reps, low weights, high reps. As you get into the later part of the season of the summer, fall kind of phase, you're going to do higher weights, lower reps, working on power, and then you can transition into the season and doing maintenance. You still must maintain strength. You must maintain cardio. It's got to be a good balance. It can be fewer sessions. Like I said yesterday, you will lose your strength quicker than you'll lose cardio. The opposite. If there's 2 weeks of non-use of cardio equipment and opportunities, you'll see a marked difference. Weights and strength can be maintained pretty easily throughout the season through 2 or 3 sessions a week of lightweight training. I will get back to some more of these common themes, but first I'd like to introduce, so I don't take up too much time, my wonderful guests here today. I will introduce Lizanne Kuderna first, and she will give you some background on herself, on what she does to maintain fitness, and mark my words, she is a mover. I cannot keep up. Lizanne, take it away.
Hi, I am Lizanne, and thank you, Jason, for inviting me to participate today. Let's see, I'm a Pilates teacher for the last 25 years and started out in that area in the physical therapy setting. So I've done a lot of rehab and preventive sort of work with people. And I myself am a spinal cord injury of about 12 years. I'm a T5. So my winter sports are, I'm more of a Nordic skier. I know this is maybe mostly an Alpine crowd, but I do a little bit of Alpine every year and realize the challenges that it presents as well. But no matter what sport we're doing, I think it's important to connect with the deeper places and maybe not like the heavyweight work so much, but I like to advocate for Pilates work, and I also teach a lot around breath, and the breath is a pretty powerful tool as well. So I thought maybe we'd play a little bit with that today. Personally, I do, like I said, Nordic skiing. I'm a big hand cycler. In the summer, I'll be hand cycling inside in the winter, and I've swam, do some triathlon. So I have, I don't like to let the grass grow underneath my feet.
That is for sure.
So why don't we, I'm not going to do a lot of the movement stuff today because I don't want to get down on the floor, but we'll do some stuff in the chair. Since I'm in a chair, and I think some of you are in a chair, and then we'll do some stuff on the mat with Jason kind of demoing for me.
You bet.
Okay, but so if you're seated and you don't need a wheelchair, and you'll just all start out sitting. If you're sitting in a chair and you can slide forward on your chair so that you're not leaning against the seat back, then I encourage you to do that. So then you can really use your postural muscles more. Otherwise, just make sure you're on top of your sit bones, your feet are flat either on your foot plate or the floor. And let's just start with some breath work, okay? So we're gonna inhale fully through the nose, and then exhale everything out. And let's inhale, see if you can direct the breath down into your feet. So inhaling, just feel the bottoms of the feet. If you can't feel something, then you imagine what it would feel like, right? The imagination has a strong neurological connection for our brain and our movement. So inhaling, feel the feet sort of expand, and then as we exhale, just feel the feet connect or drop or become heavy. And I'll take you through this fairly quickly. Let's next bring our inhale breath and inhale into the pelvis. So that whole big pelvic bowl is what I'd like to think of. Inhale, bring the breath in like you're almost water is being poured down through the top of your head and it's landing into the pelvis, and water just seeps everywhere, right? So the breath is gonna just spread into all those nooks and crannies. And then as we exhale, you can even exhale through the mouth with a big sigh. So let's just take a few breaths. Inhaling, feel this breath expand and create space in the pelvis. And exhale. The sit bones are the base of our pelvic bowl. One more breath. And next, we're gonna just move and bring your attention into the low back area. So you're gonna inhale, feel the low back expand wide. And exhale, maybe think about growing taller. Draw the belly button towards the spine. Inhaling, inhaling, expand. Exhaling, belly button to spine. And then next, if you would like, you can place your hands around your rib cage. It's a nice tactile cue. You're gonna inhale wide, feel the ribs expand out wide into the sides of the room, like you're gonna push your hands away from you. And then exhale, you can use your hands to just draw the ribs together to help squeeze every molecule of air out of the lungs. So inhale, the lungs expand and they push the ribs out, and then exhale, the lungs deflate and the ribs help deflate them every bit. So next, let's just bring the breath up, maybe around the collarbones. You're gonna inhale, feel the collarbones grow wide from the top of the sternum here. You can use your fingertips again to inhale, encourage this breath to help widen the chest. And exhale, feel the shoulder blades flow down your back body. So it's just inhaling open, staying open, exhale, shoulder blades flow down the back body. And then next, let's just do a few little head nods. And as we do these, we want to think about bringing the head really on top of the spine. Many of us, especially if we sit at a computer or we're sitting in a chair, end up with this forward head, right? It's really not great posture. So I'm all about alignment, coming from my Pilates background. So you're gonna inhale and just nod the head, yes. Dropping the chin a little bit, stretching the back of the neck, and then you can exhale, release. And then let's inhale, look up, and then exhale, come back to center, and then, so we'll just do a few little head nods like that, just with that, feeling the back of the neck stretch, perhaps, and feeling as if maybe somebody is drawing the head up towards the ceiling. getting this sense of length. Our sit bones are anchored and our head is stretching towards the sky. So we're going to maintain that idea of reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling through any kind of exercise that we do. And I encourage you to incorporate the things we just went through into your everyday workout. You know, you can spend 5 minutes with that. And just taps you into your body and your places where you don't feel and your places that feel empty or tight. Next, let's just do a little bit of shoulder movement. So you can inhale, shrug up, and then drop down. Kind of heavy shoulders down. And then we'll go ahead and just do some, I like to do shoulder circles by drawing circles with the elbows, front wall towards the ceiling, side walls, squeeze the shoulder blades back down and together. And nice, we'll go the opposite direction. So squeeze the shoulder blades back down and together as you bring those elbows back. Keep the shoulder blades back down and together for as long as you can as you do your circles. And nice. Trying to make those circles, you're moving through the circle. Sometimes what happens is we like move kind of faster through those areas we don't have control. So try to keep the rate of movement even throughout. And then we'll go ahead and move on to, let's see, let's do some scoops. So you can place your hands here with elbows alongside your waistline here. And then we're just gonna scoop arms forward, like you're bringing big firewood. So me, with my injury, I'm gonna tend to fall forward. You guys can do this with a bigger movement if you're able to kind of scoop up all the way up this direction. I'm doing it with one arm now. I like to encourage doing both arms because then you have more core involvement. And we're gonna scoop up, and as you scoop down, you squeeze the shoulder blades back down and together again. And keep them back down together as long as you can as you scoop up. And inhale up and exhale, draw the shoulder blades down. So we're warming up, just moving the shoulder blades into lots of different ranges of motion. Let's see. Next, let's do a little prayer. I'm realizing I'm gonna hog the time. So kick me off give me a 5-minute warning.
5-minute warning.
Oh, right now? Are you giving it to me?
Yep.
Oh, man. Okay.
I know.
All right, there's never enough time. Okay, let's just do a little prayer. So press the hands together. We're gonna slide the hands down. Nice, and then just come back up to center. And as you slide down, again, shoulder blades are drawing back down and together and up. I'm just gonna I'm speeding it up, giving you guys some ideas. Now you put the back of your hands together. And now you're gonna pull the hands, let's see, what am I doing? Yeah, we're gonna slide the hands up, elbows go down. Try to keep the whole hand attached or pressing. The tendency will be for it to roll apart. So it's almost like a little fly movement. Okay? Moving quickly along. Those are my only things I'm going to do in the chair today because I want to show us a few things laying down.
And real quickly, maybe one thing too, let me just slide in here for a second. When you do your scoops, say you want more resistance,
yes.
Could you do maybe the band?
You can totally use the band. I would put the band back behind you, like that. So then you have that, and this is a very stiff band, so it's too stiff to do that movement.
Together.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we have the range.
But scooping it up, yeah. You use the range, but really this stuff is more about your form, your technique, your positioning, and moving the blades in that position. So if you cannot keep your blades and your posture in this long axial, long elongation is how we refer to it, position, then you're losing the purpose of what I'm teaching anyway.
And I agree with Lizanne 100%. People will go about exercises and they will just pound weights, they will do lots of things, and they can lead to injury. If there's an imbalance already, it's only going to make that imbalance more imbalanced.
Correct.
You'll be strong in a, you know, in a non-symmetrical way. So these movement patterns are extremely important. Then at home, start incorporating some of these tools, these devices, once you feel like you have really good symmetrical movements in body positioning, then bring in these tools. Because, like I said, we don't want to emphasize something that's a little bit out of whack. We want to make sure it's nice and, you know, the movement patterns, the posture can't be stressed. It's more and more. Another real quick thing that I want to talk about, when you do get these things intact, these movement patterns, you're building some strength. I was talking to my friend Chris Young out in Massachusetts the other night. He started talking about, as a sitting athlete, physio balls. These balls are awesome.
Oh yeah, there's lots you can do with those babies.
Yep, you can sit across from each other from a distance and be, you know, throwing back and forth. We're obviously doing it very close together because we've got to stay in the frame, but it can be 10 feet, 15 feet.
When you're doing that though, I encourage you again to watch your shoulder position and not just to like try and power out of a position that, you know, may be more familiar to you. Try and really work in your strong alignment position.
Absolutely.
Because then it will cross over and you'll just be able to find it when you get into your sport.
Then the variation on these movements, which again is going to be farther apart. This is great for this plane of movement, for that. Get 3 people in. You know, you got to stay really, keep that form steady, keep the body tight and facing forward to start passing the ball in a triangle. That's going to change the core that's engaged from frontal abs to obliques and side muscles and things like that. Also try to do it without moving your head a whole lot. Don't be going like this to throw the ball. Oops, not the frame. Do it more like, you know, try to see it out of peripheral vision. That'll really get you kind of cued into what's happening.
Well, and the other thing in regards to that is it's really, when you're doing it in a threesome, don't tell each other who you're going to pass the ball to. Give the element of surprise, because that's good for the mind and the body connection as well. So,
I caught it. Okay, so it's 11:52. We got about 2 minutes.
Okay, let's just do a quick. Maybe let's carry you all over towards the mat.
Sorry, our technology is a little bit archaic here, but we're going to do it. And then Vasu will cue you up in about 2 minutes.
I think we need it closer. I feel like better be a little closer.
Okay, I think I've got that in the frame for the most part. Okay.
Okay, so if you can't get on the floor, you're going to lay on the mat with your head down here. I put this, if you can't have your feet on your back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, there you go. So this is just a setup if you can't bend your, you want your head supported. Yeah, there you go. So if you can't, if you're paralyzed and you can't have your feet on the ground, then you're going to just use some cushions underneath, some bolsters underneath the knees to help the spine be in a more neutral position. And let's just try a couple. So reach your hands directly up towards the sky. So these are nice, again, shoulders forward and back into the spine, as opposed to being in your chair or in a nice alignment with the spine. So just inhale, reach straight up, kind of push your hands through the ceiling to the sky. And then exhale, drop the arm bones back into the mat. So just inhale, reach up, straight up, and then exhale, let them just heavy, drop down. Feel the head of the arm bone drop into the mat. This time we're going to reach up. Good. Keep reaching. Bring the arms and keep reaching overhead behind. Reach, 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 reach. Nice. Keep reaching. Sending the fingertips that way. Now take a breath, fully exhale, and see if you can sink the sternum, sink the ribs. The tendency when we do this is that the ribs want to pop out. And if we don't have much of a core, like me, this is hard work. Just sink the sternum and the ribs towards the mat. Bringing the hands back over the chest again. Jason. Drop the arm bones into the mat. Now press the hands alongside the hips. So you're going to press all the way down to the mat. Press into that mat. Feel that the head of the arm bone, the top of the arm bone, initiating here. Like you're gonna push the mat away from you. Take a breath, fully exhale again, sink the ribs. Great, nice. Now Jason, maybe just drop your chin a little bit so that you're in a better, yeah, now bring the arms back up, reach towards the sky. Nice, and up and again, overhead. What's it gonna do? Oh, I got it, my hand. Okay, all right, so it's wonderful. There's so much great stuff you can do on the floor. And if you would like to play with me more and in more detail, I'll give you my email now, and Jason might give it to you again at the end.
We'll have it posted in comments from Julia and crew.
There we go. So my website is Body and Balance Pilates, and it is bbalancepilates.com. So it's the letter B, and then ALANCE, Pilates.com. And my email, which I would be very good, yes, that's right. And I am lizannkuderna@gmail.com. LIZANNKUDRNA. Okay, thank you, so much fun.
Thank you, Lizanne, much appreciated. So next up will be Vasu Sojitra, and Vasu is another Bozeman athlete, and also around many parts of the country, if not the world. So I'll let Vasu introduce himself and give you some information as well.
So again, my name is Vasu Sojitra, pronouns are he, him, and yeah, thanks for having me. I am a professional athlete, primarily for the North Face. I'm a backcountry skier primarily. I do track as well, so that is my forte, but I also kind of qualify myself as a full mountain athlete. I do a ton of trail running, long distance trail running during the summers, and mountaineering, alpinism, and ski mountaineering, and all that kind of stuff in the mountains. So this is kind of a little snippet on what I try to focus on. So just grab my phone because I wrote all the stuff down in here. So I have, how much time do I have?
You got 15 minutes.
Okay, great. So I have a few different things. So I'm going to focus on some dynamic stretching, which is super helpful for me to get warmed up. A little bit of stability, some core work, and then some recovery for after these major outings that I go on, or if you are skiing for a full day, what you can do to just like make your muscles feel good. It kind of hurts in the moment, but I swear it'll feel good afterwards. Cool. So first up, I'm gonna focus on some dynamic stretching. So I'll have Jason kind of move the camera around. And make sure that we can see what I'm doing. So first is our calf. So if we can angle that down a little bit, you can see like I'm using this box to really just stretch my calf muscle in the back, right back here. So try to use like a wall or a box to really help with that. You can hold for 10 seconds. All of these you can really just hold for 10 seconds. You'll start feeling the burn, and you can go through this entire section twice. Next up is our hamstring. So a way to stretch our hamstring is either you can do it standing up, which takes a lot of balance, and just bending over. You can bend your knee a little bit, knees if you have to, or you can get off the ground. And as you can see, just reach for your toes, and you can also bend your knee a little bit and start to drop your knee if you feel like you want to feel that burn more. Remember to hold that for 10 seconds. Next up is a calf one. You can use your nifty band if you want, this thing, or you can just tuck your leg behind you, like I have, and just lean back into it. Feel the burn on that calf or the quad muscle. Right, you'll probably most likely feel it right in the center. But if you start moving around, you'll start feeling it at other parts of the quad as well. So that's another one. You can use your band on the ground, wrap it around your toe as well, and just stretch it this way. Oops, it stays on.
Awesome. That's a great stretch right there.
And you can put more into it if you want to get your arm closer to your face, or less into it if you're farther away. Try to hold for 10 seconds on that one. And then another one for retracting is groin muscle, right in the hip. So try to kind of in that butterfly position. If you have two legs, you can do the same and put your feet together and just push away from your body. That's super helpful. Again, hold for 10 seconds will help really stretch that groin out from that overuse. And then the shoulders, I know Lizanne kind of touched on it, but I know from crunching and using retracting and outriggers, my shoulders get worked. So a good one for me is you cross your elbows and try to put your palms together. And then either keep your head straight and push your elbows down. You'll start really feeling the burn in the lats. And then if you want to deepen it towards the scapula, you can then drop your head and move your elbows up so it goes down your shoulders. That's really helped me stretch out my shoulder muscles heavily. Next is some stability work. So all of these, I usually do 10 reps, so 10 times, and then the full set 3 times. So first one is a deep squat. I have this little squishy pad here, but you can use a pillow, you can use towels, whatever. But you can do this on and off depending on your balance, but I try to make my life, of course, much more difficult because that's my life. You can also do it with a ball, so you can drop your crutches or whatever you're using, stand on, and try to keep the ball in front of you. I don't know how much you can see this, but try to keep it in front of you so it's nice and stable, and try to really just do a deep squat. You can do it again on and off, something squishy like this, like a pillow. What I want you to really focus on though is your form. So see my knee, I want you to keep it as lined as possible. I don't want you to pronate it like this. Really try to keep it in line with your toes. That's gonna really work out your butt, which is a really big, surprisingly a huge muscle when it comes to a lot of injury prevention in our knees. So good thing to watch out for there. Next is a hand band stretch. So grab your head bands. These are fairly stiff, but we can make it work. Tie a knot in it, just like you did for the quad stretch. Put your hands through it, and you can just do small movements to work out those shoulders or those small stability muscles. Just a couple inches, not much, is all you need to do. That is super helpful. Do 10 of those again. Next is a band walk. So I like to use my crutches. You can use your other leg or a door or whatever. I put it through my crutches, put it through my foot, if you can see it. Do that. There we go, got it. All right. And then just moving around the entire room. So I just kind of move around. This really focuses again on my butt and really works on my knee stability as well. So that's super helpful. So if I'm going to my left, I'm gonna put the band on my right crutch. But if I'm going to my right, I'm gonna put it on my left crutch. So I can move it around and really work on that stability and small muscles again as much as possible. That one is super helpful, definitely helped me a lot when I blew out my knee several years ago to build those muscles. And then you all have these wonderful jump rope things. Never seen these before, but these are super cool. If you want, you can of course use these. If you have a jump rope or any kind of rope, you can use that as well. I'm going to show you with the jump rope how I jump rope. I kind of hate jump roping, but it's definitely helped me in building some stability. So let's see. Here's the jump rope. hopefully I don't get caught in things. But what I do, I start it behind me, and I do a double bounce. So I can get my balance back. That'll really help. I know, a lot of folks just do the one bounce. It's a lot harder with one leg, so try to do that skip to help you get that balance. And that'll help, one, increase your heart rate, and also two, help with stability with your lower body. Let's see, how much time do I have? Wow, I'm like speeding through this.
You're good. That's pretty. You got another 5 minutes.
Cool. Another thing I like to work on is my hamstring. Surprisingly, hamstring is very useful for skiing. You wouldn't know it, but it definitely is. This is a slightly comical one. Can everyone see me? Think so? All right, perfect. So lay on your back. You can have your hands to your sides. You can cross them on your chest, whatever. And you just lift your pelvis up. And that's a great way to work on your hamstring as much as possible. So again, 10 of those. You can put weight on your chest if you want. You can put the ball on your chest if you want. Where did that ball just go?
All right.
Okay. You can try to keep it up if you want, just for more stability with your core. Whatever really works there to make it harder or easier for you. But that will definitely, you'll start feeling the burn in your hamstring there. And then next up is a step up. So if you have a ledge or anything in and around your house, I have this box right here. Loosen my junk out of the way, but whatever. Another great quad workout to help with some deeper muscles is just stepping up, easy as that. You can make it dynamic by doing a jump if you want, just to make it a little bit harder. But just a quick step up, slowly come back down. And I really want you to focus on that form again. So when you're coming down, make sure that knee is lined instead of pronating like this. Try to keep it lined as much as possible. Really want to work on that butt. Surprisingly, I think there was a competition out there to see what athlete had the best butt. It was all skiers. So,
there you go. There you go.
Amanda Gruber.
Yeah, so step-ups are great. You can use against staircases, ledges, whatever, if you have that option. Next is core. So again, these are going to be 10 times through. You can do the entire set 3 times. So you can do, let's do, first we're going to do planks. My elbows are completely trashed, so I usually use some sort of padding or a towel. And I want you to make sure your hip is up and your back is flat. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to drop your hip down to the ground. Try to make it as flat as possible. I usually try to do a minute. That is definitely difficult if you try to do it 3 times. But try to do a minute. Time it with a clock or a watch or anything. And really focus on your breathing throughout all of this. That'll really help with the core. And try to get your focus off the pain, mostly. Another one is a side plank, so you can go on your side. One elbow, put your hand on the hips. You can do another minute of this if you want, or you can do sets of a rep of 10, and do a hip dip, so you can just drop your hip down to the ground, and that'll work the side of your core. You can do that 10 times. And then another kind of plank variation, again, go back to your plank position. This one you can do 10 of each side, it's called a rainbow plank. Dip, I forget the technical term, but they all have weird terms. A rainbow plank, so you can just dip each side of your hip to the side, like this. And that's, you can do 10 each side, so 1, 2, 2. That'll really work on the full upper core. Next is crunches. The crunches are just more subtle, small movements when you're doing core work. So you can keep your knee or knees bent, back back on the, floor mat. Hands on your heads, and then just keep your head up. Make sure your shoulder blades are getting off the ground. And it's mostly working your upper core. So that's where I want to have you feel the burn, is that upper core. And then once you're doing that, you can also do what is called bicycle crunches. So you can do elbow to your opposite knee. I don't have another knee, so I'll just do the same knee again. But you can do elbow, elbow, just like that. That'll make your heart rate go even faster than that. To make it harder, you can do a full sit-up. So just get up. I don't have much weight on my lower body, so I can kind of keep momentum going. You can use the ball as well. So try to keep the ball moving throughout the motion. And that'll really keep your body moving, get the whole core involved in it. You'd be surprised how much core you use when you're skiing. And then after a lot of these long ski days, I like to do some recovery work. I know you all don't have, potentially you might have a roller at home. I do, but you can also use a water bottle, like an Nalgene, or a wine bottle. I'm not trying to promote drinking, but you might have a wine bottle at home. Those work great too, but really great to stretch out your quad or roll out your quads. Make sure you try to focus on all 4 quadrants. So try to get, right in the middle, on the sides, everything. Very important one is the IT band. That was a big one for us, 3 trackers, actually all skiers, is to try to roll that out. That's on the outside of our leg. It's going to be really painful, but it's totally worth it at the end, I swear. Try to do a minute on each section of the quad, minute on the IT band, and then you can also do a minute on your hamstring. Again, you'd be surprised at how much of our hamstring we do use skiing. It's very helpful to stretch that out. And then also all parts of our calf muscle, including our shins, just because of ski boots and all that kind of stuff, super painful to be able to do that. So roll that out, minute each. And then the last 2 are shoulder circles, so you can do this on the ground. You don't have to be standing, but you can do 10 of each. So you can do a forward big one, super helpful for actually all 3 trackers, outrigger users, monoskiers, or trackers, whatever. Big backwards 10 times, and then small forward 10 times, and then small backward 10 times to kind of just move those shoulders and get them used to different kinds of motions. I do have a little lacrosse ball here, little firm ball. I have one at home too, but you can use this to really get into very sore spots out of the shoulder. So you can, it's literally you're just like face down on the ground, putting all your body weight into ball. Very painful, just a heads up. You can also do that with your groin as well, or your hip in the back, just to find those really small sore spots that might be happening. And then most importantly is make sure you drink water is number 1, especially with electrolytes, because when you're doing all these things, you're losing a lot of fluids. Make sure you go to the bathroom. That will replenish your fluids after, or pretty much purge your fluids that you've created in your body, and then make sure you drink water, electrolytes, Gatorade, whatever, afterwards, just so you can recover from that. Yeah, that's all I have.
Awesome. Yeah, we're about to spend 30 seconds, so we'll just kind of get everybody in the frame again. Vasu, that was fantastic. Lizzie, fantastic. I can't thank you guys enough to have this authentic, demonstration that's going to translate to a lot of good things for folks out there. A couple of quick, just kind of recap things. Movement patterns. Movement patterns are critical. Work complementary muscles. If you're working your quadricep, don't neglect your hamstring. We got to have balance there. Same with upper and lower parts of your body. Definitely, you know, I want to echo Reggie's comments from yesterday. You know, this virtual ski spec has invigorated me, invigorated many people. I'm excited to go out and work out, and these guys will probably pound me into the pavement. But also, it makes your day, it made my day yesterday, it made the sun brighter and the sky bluer, which is really kind of remarkable because it was a completely cloudy day. So really, it was a great experience to get back and see a lot of you again, especially the Move United staff who do such a great job. Pass along any questions you have. Definitely wanted to keep this information going. It was it's so quick, it's so fast and furious. Wish we had another 45 minutes, but Julia, can we have another 45 minutes? No, I'm just kidding. And yeah, pass along. You'll have Vasu's email address there in the comments as well. Have a great winter. It's a tough one, but we're going to get through it. Love each other. Be kind to each other. This group is really good about doing that. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And we look forward to gathering in person 1 year from now. Anything else? I can keep talking, but I think I'm at
Thank you so much, Vasu, Jason, Liz. We really appreciate you spending a few minutes with us today. It was such a lot of great information, and like you said, we don't have enough time to cover it all. So if anybody wants to recap, I definitely urge you to reach out to these presenters. We'll make sure their information is shared, and Liz did provide her website, so check that all out. Move United also has some ways to use the items in your fit kit on their website as well, so please do check that out. There'll be a quick survey coming up in your screen when we close out of this session. Please help us out and complete that. And also, if you like the session, give us a shout out on social and tag us, #SkiSpec, so that we see it. So thanks so much for joining us again. Like Jason said, be kind to each other. It's a tough time, but we'll get through it. This community, we're really good at adapting, so we got that going for us.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of the Ski Spec sessions. We'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Bye-bye.